All right, the First Descendant. Where do I begin? Some of you guys might know this game. Some of you guys might not know this game. Some of you guys probably have seen this game on the Steam page a plethora of times with mostly negative reviews or mixed reviews for the most part. I myself was one of those people going on the Steam page and just seeing mixed reviews on this game. And I saw trailers over the past year or two, and I'm like, oh, this game actually looks good. Like, it looks decent. The character models look great for obvious reasons. Aside from that, the game looked nice, but I was always wondering why this game had mixed reviews. I would go and read. I would see a lot of players talk about the endgame loop. They would talk about the microtransactions and the monetization, which is definitely something that I may or may not talk about in this video, depending on what I remember, because I did not plan a specific script for this. But I really just wanted to talk about my perspective as a brand new player to the game. In the space of this game, there's been a lot of conversation happening about the game potentially being dead and no one wanting to play the game, or rumors of the game dying, or people saying that it has no staying power, even the executives saying that the game has no staying power. And you hear all of this and it sounds really daunting. But I'm here to tell you, I am a new player. I joined the game probably close to a month now. I've been playing for maybe close to a month. I have invested a lot of time and I have invested money. Yes, I have. And I gotta say, I have been enjoying the game. I pretty much just got to the end game now. I'm starting to, fill out my arcade tuning. I'm starting to get some of the stuff done. I'm trying to strengthen my characters, mainly Serena at the moment. And funny thing about Serena, when the first trailer that I saw for this game a year ago was Serena, and I saw Serena and I'm like, I need to play this game, because I was just like, she looks great, like there was just something about her. I'm not talking about what you think I'm talking about, but there was just something about her vibe, her face, everything. I was just drawn to the character. And again, this is not what you think, because every character in this game has Big Booba and everything else, so it's not necessarily that, but like, it was something about the character that I was drawn to, and I was like, you know what, like that, if I had to play the game, I want to play Serena. Well, I got the game and I bought her. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I bought her first. I didn't even get to the end game. I bought her like almost right away because I just wanted to play her. And then as I discovered more about the game, I learned from the community, through different people, through guide videos and whatnot. Everyone talked about Serena was the most strongest descendant in the game, and that she was meta, and there's certain builds that work with her that make her super strong, certain weapons that make her super strong. And I had no idea that this is the case about this character. And as I'm getting towards the end game, I'm starting to build the character out, and I'm starting to follow some guides, because I'm not a professional build maker or whatever. I'm not a professional theory crafter. I'm not really good at those things. I'm usually really good at just finding a build and using my common sense to see if it works or not. So I found some people and I've been following their guides, and I'm trying to work on building her out at the moment, but I can see where a lot of the concern comes. But anyways, back to my perspective as a new player. I actually hopped into this game with a friend. We both decided to try this game for the first time, and I really wanted to get into the story at first, but oh my god, it was really bad. The first thing I had to do was swap the English voice acting with the Korean voice acting, and that's just something that I just do in most games that are that don't have a non-English cast as its original. If I'm playing a game that's Japanese and the voice actors were originally Japanese, I played in Japanese. If it's Chinese, same thing. If it's Korean, same thing. Unless I'm told that the English voice acting was really good. Like in Wuthering Waves, the first part of the English voice acting was abysmal, really bad in the first patch. And as the game went on and developed and they put more money into the game, the English voice acting actually improved, and some characters actually benefited from having an English voice actor, characters like Zani and so on. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that, but my point is that I tried to play. So the game sounded and felt better with the Korean voice acting as I progressed through the story, but I found myself certain parts of the story not really sticking, not really landing as a new player, and I'm like, you know what, I might have to just skip it. So I started skipping a vast majority of the story. I would watch the cutscenes, and the cutscenes pretty much I would use context, and I would be able to get a general idea as to what's happening. But a lot of the in-between and some of the fetch questy moments were just not great. And I'm an experienced like MMO player for context as well. I played Final Fantasy 14 for over 5 years at this point, so I'm used to kind of running around doing fetch quests and just kind of running from here to there doing side quests. That's not new to me. It's just that I didn't feel the story had a lot of substance until I got to the end, when we started getting to more of the Descendant storylines, like Serena and Harris and Daya, which is the most recent character, and tying her with Glay and Freyna, all these other characters. The actual Descendant stories are really good. Bunny, Luna, all of them are really, really good, and I was drawn to that part. And the main story towards the end of it actually really drew me in. It was really dark, it was gritty, it was painful, it felt like there was starting to actually have some substance and some actual real consequences in the writing. It felt like it was heading in a good direction. So honestly, towards the end of the story so far, it's been feeling pretty good. I was actually invested in what was happening with Daya and Glay and everything like that. The plot twist towards the end really actually shook me. I had no idea that they were capable of even trying to attempt to make the story somewhat decent. So towards the end, it started getting good. But man, the journey throughout all of it was really bad. The English voice acting, horrible. So anyway, so as for the story, that's where I'm at on that. In terms of gameplay, as a new player, I'm not a stranger to looter shooters or this type of environment. I've played a little bit of Warframe here and there, but not enough to really say that I'm a pro or veteran, to be honest. The only other types of stuff that I've played really is like Do It Night Abyss, which I play a little bit on this channel for a time, and not really a looter shooter, but more of a survival kind of PvP, PvE. But Dune Awakening, I did play a little over 350 hours of that game on this channel as well. So I'm used to, and again, I play Final Fantasy 14, so I'm used to kind of just grinding out dungeons, grinding up bosses to try to farm certain loot, to farm certain gear pieces. You know, in Final Fantasy 14, there's something called fates. You go out there, it's just these mobs and or mini bosses that you fight either by yourself or with a group to farm a specific thing. It could be tied to a relic weapon, it could be tied to like currency that you could use to buy other things. So I'm used to kind of just going out there and farming for hours and hours to just try to get something. The gameplay feels good for the most part, to be honest with you. I've tried quite a few different Descendants. I have a couple ultimates. Like I said, I spent some money. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Cosmetics and Descendants, but I did farm a couple Descendants. I farmed Haley, and I actually farmed Daya, and I'm actually working on farming Ultimate Viessa at the moment. And I might be farming Ultimate Glay as well, and some of the other male characters I will be farming them out. But I have Serena, I have her moduled a couple times, arcade tuned, Ultimate Bunny, I've tried Ultimate Freyna, Ultimate Luna, Haley. I'm actually trying to work on getting her Cold Heart module at the moment. So I've tried a couple of different Descendants, and I've been having fun. I like how they play. I like how they tackle things. I do like the idea of just picking your different builds and working on them and structuring it out, and, you know, getting different results because of that. I will say though, because I'm kind of used to similar systems in other games, it didn't really bother me as much. But I will say, as a newer player, it does come across not as user friendly, to be honest. The game kind of makes you feel like you need to know everything up front and that you need to understand everything from the get-go, and I don't think that that's really good. I did watch the most recent live stream, and it seems that they are trying to restructure the endgame loop and restructure the new player experience, and I really hope that they do, because I do have another friend, like I said, the friend that I'm playing this game with, the game is becoming a little bit more difficult to retain them in the game, unfortunately, because of these systems. The grindiness is not as fluid. I know the game is kind of like night and day in some aspects from launch, from research and seeing how other people, what they said about the game. I have learned that the game is in a much better position than it was when it launched, but still not perfect, seems to be the general consensus. But some of the materials, like farming certain things, the library system, while unique, is a little bit convoluted. You kind of do have to keep going through certain menus, the menu clicking or whatever. And I am a gacha gamer, so I'm used to kind of clicking through a crap ton of menus and finding my way. So I am used to kind of doing that. But again, for somebody who doesn't play like gacha games or looter shooters or anything like that, it might be a little bit too daunting. Now, the game draws you in with its attractive character models and, you know, some of the world design and the weapons and abilities and all that. It draws you in with that. But outside of that, they really do, and I really hope the whatever changes that they make coming forward actually really helps the new player, help to retain them. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be super complicated. I had to watch a lot of guides. I had to read a lot of guides. I had to do a lot of Google research just to understand. And I still don't fully understand what I'm doing fully. There are certain things where I would do modules and I'd be like, okay, so that's how you do that. And then next, you know, I found out that I wasted my time and my resources on something that I should not have done, and I should have been doing it, using it on something else. So there is a lot of restructuring, I think, that needs to happen with this game in terms of making it a little bit more new player friendly. But again, I'm still enjoying the journey. I'm still enjoying the grind. I am pacing myself because I do have a little bit of a tendency to get really caught up in games and outpace myself, and then I get burnt out and bored. Which is like the main issue right now with a lot of the experienced player base, is talking about the end game loop just kind of being monotonous and not really, I guess, challenging or really adding more than what they already do. You just run down the middle, you burn things down with Bunny or Serena in this case, if you have the right build and you have your ancestor mods and yada yada yada, you do all that stuff. You can just delete stuff in like 2 seconds, right? You farm out the weapons, Kingsguard lands, and then the Typhoon and da 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 da. You do everything and then you just burn everything in 2 seconds, right? Like, so that is something that I hope gets fixed. Now, again, I think one of my biggest complaints personally as a new player is I really hate the crystallization catalyst farming system. I really just this is the one thing that you need to really grow your character and to really do stuff. And especially in the mid game too, it's expected of you to do some of this stuff to progress. I had to really farm a lot of my stuff out just to even continue with the story. I even had to ask some people in the public chat to help me out with certain things. I just could not clear certain missions on my own. I do believe that they should adjust the crystallization catalyst requirements for farming, because I'm not saying make it easy or just like make it free, right? Because that is a very important resource, but I feel like it needs to be adjusted a little bit better, at least the ways that you farm this material. Some of the content that you have to do to farm the things needed to craft it is absolutely just clunky and awkward to run if you don't have the right characters or the right build or the right teams with you. If you're doing a public operation, if you're doing it by yourself, it's still a little bit problematic. So private operation. So yeah, I mostly run a lot of these stuff with in a public operations because it's nice to see other players and play with them. You know, it's an online game. I like to play with other players sometimes, and sometimes I just like to do things by myself. But in situations, it's always good to have a little bit of help. Some people might be able to help carry you in certain areas that might be a little bit more difficult for you at the current moment, or you might be able to help others out. You know, like if you level yourself up enough, you might be able to help out someone else who might have been struggling to get through it on their own. So I feel like it's a good community aspect. You get to help somebody that has been struggling to clear a certain part of a piece of content, or you might be able to get help from somebody else who is a little bit more powerful, a little bit more experienced, that can help you out and help you progress the game. So yeah, I just feel like with part of some of these other little systems, again, what it has going for it is I do think there is things here to like. I do like the weapon system. I do like the upgrade system. I do like how a lot of it, I hate too much RNG though, too much RNG on respecking stats. However, that is the gameplay loop, and that is, you know, what is generally common in looter shooters. But I just feel like certain barrier of entry things need to be better. Certain things need to be explained better. Questing, I feel like there's a lot of other, because when I caught up on the story and I'm trying to help my friend progress through the story, and I forgot, I couldn't even tell them how to unlock a certain piece of content because I didn't even know how I did it. I just did it accidentally from clicking something or talking to a quest, or at least accepting a quest I didn't know I had to do, and the next thing you know, I unlocked that piece of content. So those things need to be adjusted a lot. But I would say, man, I am still currently enjoying the game. I want to keep playing the game. I definitely could see where there's a lot of weaknesses in the game and how people can get extremely tired of playing this game and farming the same things over and over and over again, because once you reach the end game, it just kind of feels blah. And that's most kinds of games though. Once you reach the end game, like I'm deep in the end game in Final Fantasy 14, and I'm not really playing it as often because I was raiding, I was doing some savage raids, and I had to take a break from that because I was getting burnt out from that, you know? So, yeah, I think most games are like that. It's good to take a break from any type of game, but yeah, as a new player, like I said, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying a lot of what I'm doing, and I like playing dress up in games, and this game has a lot of ways to dress up, so personally, so I'm happy with a lot of the cosmetic options so far. I do feel like there needs to be a little bit more attainable cosmetics for free-to-play players. I feel like there needs to be more options for free-to-play players outside of certain, yes, there are events, sure, but I feel like a game like this, if it's free-to-play, they do need to adjust some of the monetization. I shouldn't have to pay so much for dye. I shouldn't have to pay so much for certain things, like, you know, yes, but it's how they make the money, but like at the same time, I feel like certain things need to be adjusted 1000% it could be a little bit more free to play friendly in terms of how players want to adjust. And, you know, especially players that like to play dress up as well, you know, like some free to play players like to look cute too. They like to look nice with their characters, right? So it would be nice if there was more free to play ways to earn certain cosmetics outside of limited time events. It would be really nice to see that addition, because again, yes, I was able to afford some outfits, but I'm also in a perspective where sometimes I'm a low budget spender in games or free to play, and it would be really nice if a lot of people who don't want to spend their money, or, you know, a little bit more financially responsible, or they just don't really have the money to have the options to get certain cosmetics and certain things in the game that, you know, that's exclusive for whales. I will say a good example of this is like a game like Where Winds Meet, where that game is, I think that game is actually pretty free to play friendly. Like when I played that game with my friend as well, and there were some cosmetics you can get for $60, $70 again, which is egregious for a cosmetic. It is a lot of money for a cosmetic. However, there are some people who were able to get cosmetics. You can get cosmetics for $5. You can get it for literally $1. You can get a cosmetic. You can get some really good cosmetics in there for about $5 or less. So low budget friendly. And then there was a lot of free outfits that you can get from just playing the game. Like you play the game, you unlock certain parts of the story, certain parts of the world from exploring, and I think you can unlock at least 6 to 10 outfits roughly in Where Winds Meet from just playing the game for free. And these are really good looking outfits, good hair. So there's a system where you check the mirror every day and you unlock a new hairstyle, you know, like, so I feel like adjusting the monetization, making it a little bit more free to play friendly would be nice for newer players, because a lot of newer players, when they feel like a lot of stuff is gated behind the money, they're not really willing to spend money. They will leave. Especially if you can pay for your progression, like if you can pay for Catalyst or pay for the mod, I forgot the thing, the Transcender, to expand your capacity slots, but you can pay for that, pay for bikes, pay for ultimate characters. Again, I'm not trying to say that, you know, if you can do that, fine, you know, do that. I did some of that. I bought some ultimate characters. I bought some certain things. That's me though. From a free to play player perspective, it's a little intimidating. It's a little bit of a turn off when you can just do that, and, you know, the grind for it is not really accessible, or there's not a lot of free to play options for those things. So that's the point I'm trying to make. But anyways, yeah, I think that's just the end of my ramble today. I think overall, though, I really do enjoy the game. I'm still very new. I'm still growing. You'll probably see me playing Serena in this video, and I'm probably farming incorrectly, and I'm not really doing stuff the right way. But like I said, I'm very green to this game, and so far, I'm still a little bit in the honeymoon phase. I'm still enjoying the game. We'll see how I feel a month from now, maybe 2 months from now. I know there's a big April update that is coming, so we'll see what happens with that April update. But as of right now, as a new player, I can say I'm enjoying the game. I'm glad I tried it. I definitely got a lot of my money's worth out of it so far. I've gotten my time out of it so far, and I'm enjoying the overall experience. So that is it for this video. If you are new here, please subscribe. Maybe I'll make more First Descendant content in the future. Maybe not. I don't want to promise that. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be doing that on this channel, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on this game because I've been spending a lot of time on it and I've been having a great time. So yeah, that's it. And I'll see you in the next video. Please leave your thoughts and your comments down below if you agree with anything that I'm saying or if you disagree with anything that I'm saying. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Okay, that is it. I'll see you later. Bye.